So we got a really interesting video of Dr. Umar Johnson addressing some concerns that he has about what's going on with black men on YouTube. It's a pretty long video, so I decided to break it up into 3 parts. This is part 1. And let's listen to what Dr. Umar Johnson has to say about individuals like Kevin Samuels and others in the Black Manosphere, as well as black men in general and how they interact with black women. And along the way, I'll offer some of my commentary. But let's listen to Dr. Umar.
Now, let me say this, because I've been getting questions about these black male life coaches, these uncredentialed, uncertified, untrained, YouTubian black male life coaches.
One thing I'd like to point out about YouTube is it's really about a lot of opinions and conversations. And I'm not aware of any special training that one has to have in order to have these conversations, but I digress. Let's continue.
I'm not here to knock nobody. I don't know how anybody feeds their children. I don't know how they keep a roof over their head. I don't know how they keep food in their body. I'm not here to knock anybody's hustle. I'm not here to knock anybody's hustle because I don't know how they feed their children. I've had people try to destroy my profession, my professional career as a certified school psychologist, my professional career as a clinician and a therapist. I've had people try to destroy that because they didn't agree with my political platform. I've had people try to destroy that. So I will never attack another black man's ability to feed his family. Even with the gangster rappers, I will not attack their ability to feed their family. But I do want to say this to the black women out there.
Before we move on to the black women out there, I'd just like to add that I understand where it's coming from. A lot of times when people don't agree with what you have to say, they want to silence you, they want to destroy your platform, they want to make you go away. But that's just part of the business. If you operate in a public platform, then you need to be prepared for whatever gets thrown your way. It's not about allowing you to get away with whatever just because I know you have responsibilities. It's about accountability. And if you happen to be in a public forum, be ready, be prepared for it to be addressed. It's not about how you feed your children. It's about what you say and how you say it. Let's keep it pushing, baby.
I'm disappointed in a lot of my sisters. I am disappointed in a lot of black women because I thought that our sisterhood was evolving to a place that would not tolerate I thought black sisterhood was evolving to a place that would not tolerate slander and degradation of black women on any level for any reason.
Let me get back on track. He threw me off. He was just sitting there blinking for a while, but let me get back on track. It sounds to me like he's suggesting that black women as a whole need to work towards silencing the opposition. That's what comes to my mind when I hear this, silencing the opposition. Don't let them be heard. What do you think? Let's keep it pushing.
I thought, black sisters, that you guys were getting to a place, you sisters, you queens, my beautiful black goddesses, I thought you all were evolving to a place where you would not approve of Eurocentric slander and degradation and debasement.
Now, there's a lot to unpack right here with what he just said, but one thing I noticed is that a lot of these super Pan-African, super black, leader of the black community type of personalities seem to forget about individual thoughts, individual responsibilities, individual accountability, and they like to approach everything from the viewpoint or vantage point of the collective. This is why the two conversations really don't match. They're not having the same conversation. Dr. Umar Johnson is approaching things from a group down to the individual dynamic, from large to small. On the other hand, Kevin Samuels approaches things from the individual. Improve the individual, improve the group. So what we have here is two different conversations happening. I tend to believe that you got to start with the individual first. You build up the individuals, you build up the group by default. I don't think it'll work from the other way. What do you think? Let's keep it pushing.
and undue attacks on your integrity as a black woman. But I'm seeing black women, out of their thirst for male validation, entertain some of these Negroes who have no history of organizing in the black community.
You see, that just goes to prove my point. What he's saying is that if you are not organizing in the black community, then they're not qualified to address or have a conversation or converse with the individual. I think that's a bit misguided. I do understand where he's coming from, but I just think it's a little bit off base. We're going to keep pushing.
They have no history of fighting for our children. They have no activism resume at all.
Now, let me just throw this in here. As far as fighting for our children, I think the best way we can begin fighting for our children is by controlling our seed as men. That's the biggest contribution that you can make as an individual man toward fighting for our children, is to control when and where you produce one. And then after that, make sure that you handle your individual responsibility as that child's father to provide, protect, lead, and be present in that child's life. That's where it all starts. That's where it begins. We got to get that part right before we go off running across the nation, telling everybody what they should be doing in regards to the children. It all starts at home, gentlemen, but we're going to keep it pushing.
Why would you subject yourself to that level of insult? Why would you subject yourself to that level of degradation and undue criticism from a complete stranger?
Now, for those who aren't familiar with what he's talking about, if you're not familiar with Kevin Samuel's platform, I would encourage you to go over and check it out. See for yourself, come to your own conclusions. And I think you'll probably come to the same conclusion that I did, that when he talks about slander and insults and degradation, it's not really what it is. Actually, it's a response to an energy that's given by these women and simply returned to them. What it is a fight for accountability. And for lack of a better way to put it, call the people out on their bullshit. But anyhow, we're going to keep it pushing.
Because you're looking for male validation. That's why we need the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. See, when this gym is fully restored, I'm going to offer some sisterhood circles.
Now, in terms of male validation, I think these women are coming here looking for help. They go watch Kevin Samuel's channel because on some level, they know that there are some things that they need to know. Even the ones that go there and challenge him and they come from an aggressive position. Eventually you see that crack in the armor and you realize that they're looking for something. They're looking for some more information because they're not really satisfied or happy with the outcomes that they are getting. Now to take that a little bit further, as far as this male validation, I don't think it's so much about male validation as it is about, one, either to prove a point or two, seek some help. You got two types of women that go there. One type generally wants to find some answers, and the other type, they want to go and execute or impose what Kevin Samuels calls as sign language. They want to go in there and they want to attempt to shame men, insult men, guilt men, and prove that they're right at any cost. Those are the ones that you see get a response that Dr. Johnson thinks is degrading and insulting, but it's merely a response to their attitudes. We're going to keep on pushing.
Dr. Umar is going to offer some sisterhood circles right inside of this gymnasium. I'm going to offer some sisterhood circles right inside this gymnasium where I'm going to speak positivity and strength to our black women.
What I find most interesting about that is the fact that here you have a man, a brother, who is going to have sisterhood circles teaching sisters how to be sisters by speaking positivity. In other words, he's going to teach them how to be better by condoning everything they are. How do you improve if nobody points out the areas in which you can improve? How do you get better when someone constantly preaches to you that you're already good enough? It gets a little deeper than this, but we're going to keep pushing for now.
I'm going to speak positivity. The sun has come out. Woo-hoo! Woo! Mama Oshun is here, baby. Mama Oshun is here. Orumila is here. Look at the sun. It just rained cats and dogs, and now look. The sun is shining on the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. The sun is shining. When we have our cookout, we're going to put a bunch of benches and tables out here for the cookout.
What did he just say?
We're going to have a lot of benches and tables right here in the Anna Douglas Amy Garvey Park.
Oh, he said benches. I thought he said something else.
We're going to have a lot of benches out here in the Anna Douglas and Amy Garvey Park, brothers and sisters. But I'm going to have a lot of, this is your campus. Thank you for helping me buy this for our children. This is going to be the center of black organizing in North America as soon as the renovations are done.
Maybe the Center for Black Organizing in America should be the dinner table in the black home. Maybe we should start there. Let's keep it pushing, baby.
But we're going to have some sisterhood circles. Dr. Umar is going to host some sisterhood circles where I can speak power and strength into black women. I'm going to speak power and strength. This is the Frederick Douglass High School you're looking at. I'm going to speak power and strength into our beautiful African sisters. That's right. I'm going to build you up.
Translation, we're not going to address any of the issues that are keeping you torn down. We're just going to speak all the positive and ignore the negative.
And what makes it so bad about these so-called life coaches, some of them actually regurgitate a lot of Dr. Umar talking points.
In other words, facts.
People send me clips. People send me clips of some of these YouTubian opportunist so-called life coaches, and I'm seeing some of them quote me verbatim without giving credit to their source.
Translation, that means they share some of the same facts that he does. Let's keep it pushing.
And some of them claim to not even like me. So why are you quoting my material and not referencing me? You obviously watch me. You obviously watch me because too much of my material is coming out of your mouth. It's a whole group. There's at least 12. I think I've counted 12 different YouTubian beta male wannabe life coaches that are out there slandering black women, attacking black women, degrading black women. I count about a dozen. I'm going to call them the dirty dozen of division.
A couple things here. When you talk about the talking points and the facts, the message, shouldn't it be about messages and not so much about the messenger? I find it interesting how someone can almost purport to have ownership over a specific message or set of points or perspectives as if they own that. But what that does is it reveals a mentality that it's about them. And this is one of the huge differences, the key differences that I see between a personality like an Umar Johnson and a personality like a Kevin Samuels, is that the Umar Johnson personality makes it about them. They want certain things to happen, and they want to make sure that they're in a leadership position or on top of that pile when it occurs. Now, the opposite perspective is just want you to have better outcomes for you personally. I want you things to come out better for you. If that's with me, without me, I don't have all the answers, but I can point you in a direction where you need to go and get those answers. That's why you hear Kevin Samuels talk about therapy and financial advisors. Tends to break down certain components that people need to improve, certain areas they need to improve in, and then recommend a place that they can go to get expert advice on that topic. It doesn't come from a place of I know it all. And when I look at Umar Johnson, when I listen to his words, it's as if he comes from a place where he possesses supreme knowledge, as if he knows it all, as if he has all of the answers. I find that interesting. Two different perspectives, two totally different ways of approaching things. But let's go on. Let's listen to more of what Dr. Umar Johnson has to say.
The triple D, the dirty dozen of division. There's about 12 members of the dirty dozen of division, 12 beta males, YouTube life coaches, who are trying to build a platform by making black women feel bad. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see a man talking in a way that like it's all about feelings. You know, the exact opposite of the logic and the reasoning. It's all about the feelings. He doesn't like it because somebody might be feeling bad because somebody told them the truth. But let's talk about this division. He called them the dirty dozen of division. What I find interesting about that is the fact that some of these uh, super black Pan Africanists, alpha beta males, tend to approach things from a perspective that division must come or unity must come at all costs. In other words, even if the message is flawed, you shouldn't point it out. You should unite behind it and then maybe try to fix it or adjust it down the road. I disagree. I just can't get on that boat. In many instances, division of thought, uh, opposing viewpoints are good. This is how we grow. This is how we have discussions. And that's where we figure things out. But to say that there should be unity strictly on the basis of the color of your skin, I think is a flawed approach. I think the collective is made up of individuals, and we should be teaching individual accountability, individual responsibility. And when we do that, we make the individual stronger and we make the collective stronger. But we're going to keep on pushing.
I can't appreciate black men trying to make a dollar off of making black women feel bad.
So, what about making a dollar off of making black women feel good?
And unfortunately, our black women, some of them are so thirsty for validation that they're participating. They're participating in the attacks and slander against the black female community, and that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. No black woman should ever subject herself, even for amusement, even for amusement, even for amusement. The black woman should never subject herself to another man's condemnation. And what makes the condemnation so ridiculous for me, it's mostly superficial. Most of the assessment is superficial, brothers and sisters. It's superficial. You weigh too much. You don't have the right body type. You don't have enough education. You don't make enough money.
Again, I have to refer back to Kevin Samuel's videos. I encourage you to go check them out. And what you'll find is there is no condemnation per se. He's simply telling these women what men want, what men like, what men desire, statistically. In other words, he's informing them based upon the data that he has to back that up. It's really just a transfer of information. It really is. So what you have is a conversation that revolves around determining what one person says they want and then testing whether or not they're willing to do what it takes to increase the likelihood of them getting what they want. That's what that conversation is about. Now, as far as them women running up there looking for validation, I think the lion's share, the most of those women that go on that show are really looking for some type of help. Because for far too long, people have been telling them what they want to hear, concerned about their feelings, making them feel good, and they've been experiencing negative outcomes. At some point, women will start to say, listen, tell me what I need to know. Tell me the truth. I know you hurt my feelings, but if my feelings being hurt leads to a better outcome, I'm willing to do that. It's not a victim mentality that's leading these women to this show. It's a cry for help. And the ones who aren't going there for that purpose are going there to try to prove a point. And when they get dealt with, their feelings get hurt. And that's when Captain Save-A-Ho, like Dr. Umar Johnson, shows up because he's upset that these women's feelings were hurt. We're going to keep it pushing.
This is European standards. This isn't African. That's not who we are. And black women are subjecting themselves for this because they want a black man so bad to publicly validate them. They're taking a chance at being totally humiliated because they're so thirsty to have a black man publicly validate them. That's why you're doing this, black woman.
Oh my goodness. My goodness, Dr. Johnson. You know, just like facts don't care about your feelings, facts don't care about your color, facts don't care about your race, logic, the reason, none of them care about the fact that you're black. There's certain facts that exist for men of all color, exist for women of all color. They don't change. You don't get a pass because of the color of your skin. Certain standards like fitness, it's a biological thing. It's a biological imperative. Men like women who are fit. The more fit a woman is, the higher her chances are of finding a man that's a match for her. That's just a fact. And black women need to be aware of this fact. If you weigh 2 times as much as you should weigh, if you weigh more than a man, it's going to reduce your chances of finding a mate. If you want that outcome, if you want to find a mate, isn't it a good thing for you to know and understand these facts? Shouldn't somebody be telling you this? Because the people out there who tell you that you're just fine the way you are, love yourself, self-love, self-love, you're going to metaphysically manifest the life that you want, are doing you a disservice, ladies. We're doing you a disservice. Let's keep it pushing.
See, I want you to understand and overstand the same reason you go on these YouTubian beta male so-called life coaching platforms. The same reason you go on these YouTubian beta male so-called life coaching platforms is the same reason you stay in abusive relationships.
Now that right there was an awfully feminine move. That's for lack of a better way to put it, that was an awfully feminine move right there. The way he just attempted to twist the conversation, shift the conversation into an area that is really no more than a shaming tactic, guilting tactic that's inaccurate. He's attempting to move the conversation into the area of abuse, females being abused by men, as if the majority, the vast majority, have lived that life, have had that experience, as if most men are abusing most women. So if we can shift that back into a victim type of mentality, then in a sense, he can gain the moral high ground. You see, if I can confuse you that you're a victim, then I get to be the savior. On the other hand, if I made you aware of the fact that you were causing harm to yourself through your action and inaction, and that was what was causing you to have these negative outcomes, then you have an opportunity to be your own hero. But Dr. Umar Johnson wants to be the hero in this case. So let's keep pushing.
It's the same reason black women stay in abusive relationships. It's the same reason black women stay. Why do black women stay in a relationship where she's being exploited sexually, emotionally, or financially? Why doesn't the black woman leave?
Where are all these women, black women, who are staying in relationships when they're being exploited sexually and financially? 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Most relationships are ended by women. It's the women who are leaving en masse and by far the majority. So doesn't it seem a bit odd that he's stating this as if those statistics were reversed? What does that tell you? I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. Let's keep pushing.
Talk to me, black women. We're talking about the unconscious psychology of abuse of our sisters. We're talking about the unconscious psychology of why black women would rather stay. Because a lot of black women feel that if a man does not validate me, I'm not good enough as a woman. And some of our sisters' self-esteem are so low that they will stay with any man.
Again, he's using a flawed argument to attempt to discredit others and their platforms, rather than giving these women some type of credit and saying that maybe they want to go and engage in these conversations. Maybe they think they have valid points, and maybe they go there for the debate. Maybe they go there to learn something. Maybe they go there to hear other women's experiences. Maybe they go there to find out what men really want. But in his mind, none of those are a possibility. It's all about some type of abuse. And the only reason they go there is to be further abused. We're almost to the end of this video. We're gonna pick it up in another video. We'll go ahead and finish this segment out. We're gonna keep pushing.
Just to feel like a woman. That's where this comes from, black woman. That's why I'm working on my For Sisters Only relationships and dating book right now.
So you have a man working on a For Sisters Only relationships and dating book, and I'm sure he's going to sell it to you for a price. Moving right along.
That's why I'm working on my For Sisters Only relationships and dating book right now, because I want you sisters to understand what makes you get on YouTube and let a man destroy you like that. What makes you get on YouTube and reveal your private business to an absolute stranger? What makes you get into a relationship and let a man walk all over you?
All right, YouTube family. Thanks for stopping in and spending some time with your main man, Jerome Jackson. Be sure to like, comment, and share this content. And if you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe. We'll see y'all on the next video. Take care, family. Peace.